to try the first Facebook Live from Moran Press. I just want to talk about a few new releases we have and a post that I had loaded to the Moran Press site a few hours ago about the fact that a poetry collection is the #1 seller right now from Moran Press, which is kind of surprising to both me and to the people who follow our press. I just wanted to touch base on that. The poetry collection in question is this one, Crumbling Utopian Pipedream, and it's a gritty street poem type collection, raw and real, and it doesn't pull any punches. This isn't the flowery poetry that some might be familiar with or even prefer. This guy brings it. He talks about tales of the streets and drug use and ultimately overcoming some of the obstacles life can throw in your way. But I just wanted to touch in general about the fact that it's so pleasing that a poetry collection is doing well for us. It's, so many people told me not even to publish poetry. Some other publishers told me it's a waste of time. And they say the very same thing about literature in general, publishing literary works. And, I disagree, which is one of the reasons I started my own company instead of just submitting my work to other publishers. I wanted to control the process. And part of what makes Moran Press, the underlying thesis of it is that, it's kind of like my curated list of what I find entertaining and inspiring and thought-provoking. I highly recommend the Crumbling Utopian Pipedream. And when I first read it and he submitted the manuscript, I immediately wanted to publish it. It was just a question of I'm going to email this guy back, Scott Wozniak, and say I really enjoyed this book and can't wait to see how we can put together a plan to publish this. And but I never thought about can this be a bestseller or whatever. That's not really the goal of a micro press like Moran Press. I want to produce a list of quality books that you can be assured when you purchase one from me that it's quality literature. And the difference between my press and say one that is a corporate larger press is they're constrained by this book must make money or we cease to exist. Obviously, I understand there are business considerations, and they can't just publish anything and say, we're just going to publish poetry and haikus or whatever. But another poetry book I want to talk about that has done very well for Moran Press was the first one we published, and it's Memoirs and Fragments, and that's also available on the website and the Facebook store. But this one's a little different. This one's 20 poems of love and trauma. This is from our poetry editor, and he helps me select the poetry that is going to be published at Moran Press. The process is, when a submission comes in, I read it over a few times, and if it intrigues me, I pass it along to Charles to get his thoughts on it. And so that process happened with Scott's book, and we both were really impressed by it, and so we moved forward. But if I listened to the critics or the haters and naysayers, I wouldn't be publishing poetry at all. And I just want to say to the writers out there, stick to yourself and be true to yourself, and don't try to chase the fads. You can find a place that fits your work. There's so many different places to publish now, with whether it's micro, small, mid, or even the traditional legacy publishers, that just write from your soul, write what's down deep, and then do the research and find someone that fits you. Don't try to chase, writing a Twilight knockoff or a 50 Shades knockoff in the hopes that you'll ride coattails, because that strategy isn't very, it won't be very successful. Especially in this era of, hyperized news cycles due to the current president. Things move too quickly to chase fads. by the time you've written something to chase the fad, it's probably 2 fads down the road. So I would invite the people watching to check out the poetry collections. We have 2 and we have several coming. I want to release a roster of poetry that can stand with what any other publisher is really putting out there right now. Cutting edge poetry from poets that aren't afraid to take chances and really push the envelope. And for me, poetry is something that I come back to again and again, no matter the stresses of my life. I can go into a poetry book and kind of leave the world behind. Today everybody's obsessed with the Comey testimony and kind of all frizzled and frazzled. So, it was crazy for me too to listen to this guy call the president a liar and the president's lawyers denying it. It's a wild sequence. So I kind of picked up the poetry book and just read a few poems and just disappeared into literature for a little while. And I really believe that if you take some time of your day to interact with quality literature, poems and short stories and stuff that's a little less commercial, it'll just open your mind. And I thank the people that have supported us, and we've had such a wonderful reaction to some of our titles, and I definitely thank everyone that has liked our page, and more soon. Bye bye.